Why most first novels fail, it is not what you think. Most people who start writing a novel never finish it. Not because they ran out of ideas. Not because they weren't talented enough. Not because life got in the way. They stopped because somewhere around chapter 7 or 8, the story stopped making sense. And they didn't know how to fix it. Today I am going to show you exactly why that happens. And what the writers who do finish their books do differently. Welcome to the Story Forge. This channel is about one thing. Helping you write the book that has been living inside you. We talk craft, structure, and the practical tools that take you from first idea to finished manuscript. Let's get into it. Here is what actually happens when most people start a novel. They have a great idea, a character, a premise, an opening scene that feels electric. So they start writing. Chapter 1 is great, Chapter 2, pretty good, Chapter 3. They're starting to figure things out as they go. By Chapter 6 or 7, they've written themselves into a corner. The plot doesn't add up. The characters are making decisions that don't quite make sense. There is no clear sense of where any of this is going. So they stop. And then they tell themselves they're not a real writer. But here is the truth. The problem was never talent. The problem was they started building without a blueprint. Imagine hiring a contractor to build your house and telling them, just start, we'll figure out the rooms as we go. By the time you realize the kitchen is in the wrong place, the walls are already up. That is what pantsing a novel, writing by the seat of your pants, does to most first-time writers. Not always. Some people can pull it off, but most can't. And the ones who struggle aren't failing because of talent, they're failing because of sequence. The writers who finish their books, the ones who write a first draft all the way through, almost always share one habit. They know where they're going before they start. Not every detail, not every scene, but the destination, the ending, the emotional truth the story is building toward. Here is why this matters so much, especially for certain genres. Take mystery. If you are writing a mystery and you don't know who the killer is before you write Chapter 1, you are going to plant the wrong clues. You are going to write red herrings that go nowhere. You are going to reach the end and realize the killer you chose doesn't make emotional sense because nothing in the first half of the book was pointing at them. Then you have two options. Rewrite the whole thing from scratch. Or publish a mystery where the ending feels unfair, and readers will always notice when it is unfair. The writers who avoid this don't do it by being more talented. They do it by designing the ending first, before Chapter 1, before the first scene. They write their ending, lock in who did what and why, and then they work backwards, planting every clue, every red herring, every character beat with intention. When you read a mystery and think, of course, I should have seen it coming. That feeling is not an accident. That is architecture. So what does this look like practically? Before you write a single chapter of your novel, I want you to do this one exercise. Write your ending first, not in full detail, just a paragraph or two. Answer 3 questions. 1. Who is responsible for the central conflict of your story? And what is the one thing that makes them understandable, even though they did what they did? Want to be found. 2. What was the emotional breaking point that made them act? 3. How does your protagonist prove it, expose it, or confront it? Write those answers down. Save them somewhere. You'll see them every time you sit down to write. Now here is what changes. Every scene you write from Chapter 1 forward has a destination. Every character decision has a logic to it. Every clue you plant has a reason to exist. You are not discovering the story anymore. You are building it. And building is something you can finish. The writers who finish their books aren't the most talented ones in the room. They're the ones who figured out how to start with a plan instead of just a feeling. Next week, we're going deep on character. Specifically, why the characters people remember long after they close a book. All share one thing in common, and it is not what most writing advice tells you. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And if this was useful, share it with someone who has been trying to start their book for longer than they'd like to admit. I want you to finish your book, and I will share ideas and the blueprints that I use here. I'll see you in the next video.